Right, yeah. Well, you need to know that you're entering what we call the grey zone. Now, I've taught on this before in seminars, and we'll be producing a video on this called the grey zone. You need to know you're entering the grey zone, and you need to be trained to enter the grey zone. If you're not trained to enter the grey zone, the chances are, like entering any other hazard zone, or even if entering the kitchen zone, and I think I've done a blog on this one, can be dangerous if you haven't had training to operate in that area. The grey zone in a cross-cultural situation is full of hazards. Unfortunately, the HR departments that employ and send out teachers and health workers, doctors and so on, administrators to work in Aboriginal communities, don't see that they actually have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that people can go work in a grey zone, cross-cultural grey zone, and return safely from that zone. I don't want to frighten people off from going and having a wonderful adventure and working with Aboriginal people, but I'd like to put the warning out there that unless people do know how to work in that grey zone, cross-cultural communication, learning people's language, learning their kinship system, many, many, many other things, communication mores and so on. The more you can learn of those things, the more useful you're going to be working in that community. The less you learn, the less useful you're going to be, and you're probably just going to cost the government another fortune when you leave early, and that hurts the community because they get sick and tired of getting used to all these new people coming and going. How can schools operate? How can kids even be interested in learning in the school when the teachers come and go so often? It's really a nightmare. So we should be preparing people before they go to community. We should be giving them the skills that are necessary to work in that cross-cultural situation, to be culturally competent, to know how to work in a cross-cultural community, and to be effective in whatever role you have to play in that community. There's no shortcut to it. There is some hard work, but gee, there's a lot of adventure and learning that can come out of it. And sadly enough, I have teachers tell me and medical workers tell me over and over again that I wanted to come to the Northern Territory, I wanted to learn an Aboriginal language, I wanted to learn all about their culture, and guess what? None of it happened because HR departments don't get it. Managers don't get it. Even managers of Aboriginal health units, organisations, don't get it. They just slip into the old colonial mode that Aboriginal people have to do all the hard work. They have to do all the crossover. They have to come into our zone, operate in our zone, which is foreign to them. And we don't train people to be able to go off and work in the grey zone, which is over in their culture. We need to do it differently, and then things will change on community. Until that happens, it'll just be more billions of government dollars poured down the sink as it has been in the past.